What going on, guys? Commander here, and welcome to a new video on Star Wars Battlefront 2. And the newest update that is released as of recording this probably yesterday, I think it was. Now, what's happened in this update? So it's basically a second part or follow-on from the last update that we got in December. Because of the Rise of Skywalker's release, they had to put this part separately. Although playing it, I can't really see any spoilers for Rise of Skywalker, but oh well, I don't know. There's probably a reason for it behind the scenes somewhere. So what's been added? We've got two new heroes, BB8 and BB9E. We've also got the sequel trilogy in Capital Supremacy, which is also a really nice touch. So, what do I think about this update? Well, I was actually pleasantly surprised with what I played. Now, I haven't played an awful lot because I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible, and I didn't have a chance to do it on the day that the update released because I had college and whatnot. But I was very surprised with what I played. The main reason why is there's actually some variety, and it's different from the Clone Wars Supremacy, and I know that doesn't sound shocking, really, but after playing the Clone Wars Supremacy all the time, and that being the only era that you could play, without any difference with any of the maps, it does get a bit boring. And that's the reason why, for a time up until just recently, that I stopped playing it. But now, with this update, we have a capital ship phases that play out differently. And that's the only thing that's different, but that was my biggest issue with the repetitiveness of this mode from the Clone Wars era, that the capital ship phase was exactly the same every single time. It would have been nice just to have a little bit of variety between them, and especially with the Republic and the Separatists. They're both exactly the same. You've got capture a point, destroy the command station phases. Here we've got, now they may be similar, I can't quite remember. I know what the Resistance one is because that's the gameplay that we're playing. And I watched it, and I was watching it as we were playing through, as I was writing this script. But the Resistance one, you get two capture phases and then a destroying reactor. So that's different. Even if the First Order one is exactly the same, the Resistance one is different from the other one. So we've got a bit of variety, and that was my biggest repetitiveness. My biggest issue with this mode was the repetitiveness of it. And yes, it would be nice to see some variety on the ground phase, but it's conquest, really, and there ain't much else you can do with it in that regard. However, because of the changes that were made with the sequel era, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the original trilogy, especially with maps like the Death Star or Tatooine. You know, the Death Star especially, because it isn't actually a capital ship. You know, so whether it's just going to be like instant action, where it's just you capture the command post, fill your bar up, and that's it. I hope it's not. I hope once we do that, we can actually then move into the lower depths of the Death Star and blow up like the Death Star reactor or something. But I can't see them doing that, but I really hope they do, because I think the Death Star is probably going to be like one of my least favorite, if that is just instant action. But the capital ships also look really, really nice. The models of the exteriors are impressive enough, but when you get into the interior, especially with the Resistance ship, that looks good again inside, because it's different than what we've seen before, and it's very close corridors. It's not like really open. I mean, I know in with the Clone Wars era, the second phase is very close corridors. Like, you capture the first control point, and then everything after that is very open area. But it's a mixture of open area and closed corridor. But this is all just closed. It's like you're fighting in corridors. It's so good, and it's so different, you know. And it's the same with the First Order ship. However, the First Order ship does look really cool, and it is very close corridors, which is I do like. But it still looks very much like the Venator from the Clone Wars, and I know the reason why that is because it's that ship is based off of the Venator and the Star Destroyers, which I can understand, and I can get over my like ranting of things being too similar just for the one of that. But the Resistance capital ship does look absolutely insane regardless. Now, onto the heroes that were added to the game. BB8 and BB9E. Now, when I heard these heroes are being added in the game, my initial thought was, why the hell are DICE adding these heroes when there are other heroes that we want instead? But then I thought, well, what other sequel heroes could they add instead, considering they're adding sequel era content? Well, they could add Poe and Hux, but there's no way of making them different to other heroes, like Finn or Phasma, for example. And technically, I know he's not, but technically Poe's already in the game because we have his Starfighter on Starfighter Assault. And again, I know that means that he's not in the game necessarily, but he is technically in the game. So I ended up just accepting it. And it was interesting to see how it was going to turn out. And again, I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now, I haven't played much of these heroes just because I wanted to get this video done as soon as possible. But looking at other videos on YouTube, it's clear that they are basically the same hero. However, BB8 seems to be more offensive, whereas BB9E is more of a support unit, which I think is really neat. The only thing that I think we need now is a support unit for the Resistance, considering the First Order now have one. But if they don't, I'm fine with that. I don't really care, in all fairness. BB8, from what I've seen though, however, seems to be like a little more OP than BB9E, and for some reason I can sort of see DICE nerfing him a bit. Not majorly, because from what I've seen, he's not massively OP like Anakin Skywalker was when he first released, but he's a bit more OP than the BB9E. So I can either see them nerfing BB8 a bit or buffing BB9E ever so slightly. And again, it's not major, but it's just little tweaks I think need to be added to one of them to make them a bit more even on playing fields. But again, he's not game-breaking OP, so I think it'll rest with players for the time being. There are also a couple of new things added to the game, such as new animations and emotes to Vader, Yoda, Bosk and Rey, as well as some quality of life changes, but I haven't played it enough to notice what they are yet, so I'm not going to go into them here. So overall, I do think this update is really quite good. It's basically the second part of the follow-up from the last month's Rise of Skywalker update, and it had to be postponed because of the release of the Rise of Skywalker, but it's a good update nonetheless. I'm really looking forward to the next update though, where we get original trilogy content, and I can actually start, like, because none of my original trilogy heroes, I don't think, and maybe one or two, but none of them are on purples yet. So I'm really pumped for when original trilogy comes into co-op especially, and I can just jump on a Wednesday and get double XP and then just grind out Vader, Palpatine, Luke, Han, Leia, all of them, and get them all up to purples. I'm really going to be on that. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button, excuse me, for more awesome gaming content. If you do want to see other videos like this, then do leave it down in the comment section down below, because I like just talking with a script, because it's actually quite therapeutic, sort of, I suppose. But anyway, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, whatever. So hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye!